Mitch Marner will be an unrestricted free agent this July 1st. That is a fact we all need to accept for the next 2 weeks until it becomes officially official. He will not play for the Toronto Maple Leafs next season. We all know this. It is done. It is going to happen. He will not be on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And based on all of the reports and rumors that we've received over the last, 6 months in Mitch Marner noise, rumor mill that's been happening, I've come to the conclusion that there are 3 destinations that are most likely to sign Mitch Marner, and I think he will be on one of these 3 teams come the start of the NHL regular season next year. If you're not watching on the Jesse Blake Sports Report YouTube channel, I have up Puckpedia right now. Let's go through the 3 teams that I think Mitch Marner is most likely to sign with come this July 1st. Starting with the Vegas Golden Knights. I think the Vegas Golden Knights are going to be in on every major free agent from now until the time they decide to let go of the front office. This front office loves getting the big fish that is out there. And Mitch Marner is a prime candidate to land on the Vegas Golden Knights. That is why they are at number 3 on my list. But how, Jesse, you are asking right now? They only have $9.6 million in cap space. If you can see that on the screen right now, if you're watching this on the Jesse Blake Sports Report YouTube channel, they have only $9.6 million in current cap space heading into the offseason. But over the last 2 weeks, we've learned a couple interesting things. The first thing being that Alex Pietrangelo may go on LTIR for the entirety of the next season. He was injured over the course of four nations. He was dealing with an injury that didn't allow him to play at Four Nations. He decided, I'm going to stay away from that tournament. I'm going to take those 3 weeks off and get ready for the playoffs for the Vegas Golden Knights. But that injury has not gone away. Elliot Friedman was on this reporting on his podcast, 32 Thoughts, and he talked about how there's a possibility that he can just go on LTIR for all of next season or a big chunk of next season. I would assume all of next season to free up that space to sign Marner. And then come the playoffs, he'll be ready and good to go. And if any team is going to do this with $8.8 million that Petro makes, it's going to be Vegas. They have a history of doing this with their players, and I don't think they are going to be afraid of doing this with Petro here if that is the case for him. And because we all know hockey players, they're dealing with things all the time. And if they need Petro to sit out the season and he's cool with that, I'm sure the Vegas Golden Knights can get it done if it means they can sign Mitch Marner. And then we got trade candidates for the Vegas Golden Knights. And something I've seen a little bit lately is people trying to pry William Karlsson from the Vegas Golden Knights to their favorite team. That would allow Vegas to have an extra $5.9 million in cap space. That is how much William Karlsson makes for this upcoming season and the season after that. He only has a modified no-trade clause, a 10-team no-trade list. So that means there are a bunch of destinations that they can freely move William Karlsson to. This does not mean it will be easy for Vegas even if they free up, let's say, both of those, because they do have to sign Riley Smith if they want to bring him back. He's an unrestricted free agent. I don't think they're going to be bringing back Riley Smith, but we will see. Maybe they get a good little sweetheart deal for Smith there, who is a UFA. They also have Brandon Saad, who's a UFA, Tanner Pearson, Victor Olofsson, and Ilya Samsonov, who is also a UFA. So tons of UFAs there, but that $9.6 million might just be 9.6 if they don't bring back any of those guys. And then they have their RFAs, Jonas Rodenberg, Cole Schwindt, Alexander Holtz, and Nick Hague. So those are RFAs that they have to use their $9.6 million on unless, they move on from one of those players. We'll see. I think at number 3, it makes a lot of sense for Vegas to go after the big fish in Mitch Marner. He would fit perfectly on that right wing there, whatever they want to do with their Stone, Dorofeyev, top 2. Mitch Marner can make a little room there. Let's say if they want to move on from their captain, Mark Stone, who does have a no move clause, so I don't know about that. And Dorofeyev, who's young, but he can play other places if you have Mitch Marner there to play on the right wing. Number 2 on my list of destinations for Mitch Marner and where I think he will sign this offseason. Number 2 is the Los Angeles Kings. The Los Angeles Kings need Mitch Marner. He would fit perfectly in their lineup. I ended the Vegas part talking about their lineup, but let's start there with the Kings because they got Kempe on the first line, Adrian Kempe on the first line right wing there. He's in year 4 of 4. He's coming up. He's going to be a UFA at the end of this season, this upcoming season. But like a really obvious upgrade for the Kings this upcoming season is on the wing. They have such a deep center group. The top 3, Kopitar, Byfield, and Deneau, is some of the 3 of the best centers you got in the league. Like, they can compete in the Western Conference with anybody with that center trio. And if they can add Mitch Marner to the wing there, it just makes their forward group look so much better. And they need a bold change after how the last 3 consecutive seasons have ended at the hands of the Edmonton Oilers. It's enough is enough. We need to make a huge swing here and find a way to overhaul this forward group here and the lineup. And adding Mitch Marner is a big addition that changes your entire core of your team. They have $21.7 million in cap space, which makes this thing very easy for the Los Angeles Kings. It makes them just in prime position to offer Mitch Marner the overpay that he is looking for, the $14 million or north that he is looking for. That $21.7 million in projected cap space will go a little bit towards Alex Lafreniere, who is an RFA. He is offer sheet ineligible. Oh, I didn't know that. According to Puckpedia, Lafreniere is offer sheet ineligible, but he's an RFA. So some of that 21 will go to him, which still leaves plenty for Mitch Marner. David Rittich is a UFA. Gavrikov is a UFA. We got Kuzmenko's a UFA. And Taylor Ward, Tanner Jeannot, and Trevor Lewis are also their UFAs. For me, it just makes so much sense for Mitch Marner to go to LA as well. It's a huge market, but he's not a star there because there are so many other bigger teams in Los Angeles. Basketball's bigger, football's bigger, baseball's bigger. They have all of these teams, but it's still a huge market, and it's a great place. California, like, how can you not be happy in California with your family in the sun? And Mitch Marner is as far away from Toronto as possible on the West Coast. Big city, great place, but you're not a true superstar in the sense where you are in Toronto, where you are in the mecca of hockey and you are everything here. It is not that in LA, but you still have one of the biggest cities in North America. So Mitch Marner to the Kings, I think it makes so much sense for him, and it's such a plug and play with this lineup. And I said 3 times they lost to the Oilers. I made a mistake. 4 times. 4 times they lost to the Oilers. I think Mitch Marner could be a piece that can get them over the hump there against the Oilers or whoever they are play in the first round next year, because I think they're going to be a playoff team again, and that'll get them into the second round at least. Who knows after that? But Mitch Marner makes a lot of sense on the Kings. Last team, number 1 on my list. The Kings were 2. Number 1 on my list is the team that Mitch Marner almost went to, kind of, but not really, almost went to at the trade deadline. That is the Carolina Hurricanes, because they have been looking for Mitch Marner for the last little bit. Mikko Rantanen was their attempt to get the Mitch Marner type player, and Mitch Marner declined to trade there. During the trade deadline, the Leafs approached him and said, can you go to Carolina? We're going to take Mikko Rantanen, and we want to send you there. It would be, just come in close, Leafs fans. I know you don't want to hear this, but it would be the most Leafs thing in the world for Mitch Marner to now go to Carolina. And how do Leafs things play out? They always play out in the most Leafy ways possible. This guy turns down a trade. He ends up signing there in free agency. It just makes so much sense. The Carolina Hurricanes have $28 million in cap space. Their only UFAs coming up this offseason are Jack Roslovic Eric Robinson, Tyson Jost, Brent Burns, and Dmitry Orlov. You got to imagine they will re-sign some of those players, but that is still leaving them with so much money. $28 million will not even put those players won't put a dent into that $28 million. They can offer Mitch Marner the sun and the moon. And we saw the evidence in the Mikko Rantanen trade that that's exactly the player they want. A high point getting right winger. They have Seth Jarvis right now on the right wing on the first line. And then you got Jackson Blake, Logan Stankoven, and you got William Carrier. It's like, okay, cool. We could use a star there on that right side to really make this thing cook and sing. You plug Mitch Marner there, I assume ahead of Seth Jarvis. You move everybody down. I don't know what you want to do with Carrier there, who was on the fourth line right wing, but you can figure something out. And then you have the team that you were trying to build when you traded for Mikko Rantanen. I think Carolina right now, for this narrative itself, it makes so much sense. But in terms of the forward group behind, like the Kings are right behind them in the most sense, plugging it in on the right side. The Carolina Hurricanes, like this is exactly what they've been looking for so long. They've never really had a lineup where they have like the star player who's going to score a bunch of goals. And Mitch Marner isn't that player, but he's a high point getter who's going to fit perfectly in the lineup and kind of be the new driving force along with Aho and Svechnikov, who are still going to be there. And the Carolina Hurricanes, like they're in prime position to be a good team for a long time here with their draft capital, the first round pick they have in this upcoming draft, and then the 2 firsts they have the following year, plus all of this cap space. I think this is the time you go for the huge free agency swing and you get your team to that Stanley Cup that you've been searching for, that you've been very close to. You've been deep in the playoffs, but you're missing that X factor. Go out, get the biggest fish, make the biggest swing you can, because Carolina is on the precipice of greatness and they just need a little bit to push them over the hump. Why not take a big swing? To me, that makes the most sense for a destination for Mitch Marner. I think they offer him the most money, and I think they try and get him there on that right side. Let me know what you think on the comments on the Jesse Blake Sports Report YouTube channel. Where do you think Mitch Marner plays next season? And while you are there, hit like on this video, hit subscribe on the channel, and I will see you back here very shortly. That is it for me tonight. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be listening or watching right now, and I appreciate you for that.